What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel. I am Bree.
And I'm Evan.
And this is Reality Check TV.
We're always here.
Here's where we discuss some of our favorite reality shows to watch together as a couple. So if you love reality TV like we do, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified anytime we post a new review.
Expeditiously.
So again, welcome back, everybody. I hope you had an awesome Juneteenth weekend. We said this in our last review. But for all you newcomers, we went away for the long weekend and did a little family getaway. So we're back. We're a little late, but we back. And we ready to get into this Martha's Vineyard review. Because got a couple opinions about some things that I've been sitting on them. But before we get into that, one small church announcement. I just want to acknowledge, and I hear a couple of you people have put in our comments that there's been some audio issues. So just continue to let us know if you do continue to have issues. I will let you guys know we do use a mic. It's right here. We do use a mic. And we have all of our volumes turned up. So just continue to just let us know. We aren't doing this live, so we don't figure out that there's an issue until after we post the actual review and then we see certain people's comments. And when we do the playback, we don't have any issues on our end, even when listening on our phones or TVs. But I know it could be different from what other people are experiencing. So just continue to let us know.
Right.
Okay. So, you ready?
Let's get into it.
He keep taking my line. He did this in the last review. It's my line. Let's get into it.
All right, everyone. So, everyone's favorite nudist at Martha's Vineyard. The episode starts out with, as you guys know, Shanice. From last episode, it was a little to be continued. Shanice was on the balcony topless with a wine bottle saying, hey, screaming hey to everybody down below at their little, what's it called? Pestle? What
are you
color
talking about?
It's their brunch. She has it like that.
Pastel.
At their little pastel brunch that they're having down below, you know, Shanice is waving to everybody with her left titty. You know, Jasmine makes the first comment saying she is not happy with this, knowing that King Silas is right here looking at, you know, boobs that are not hers. I can see that Simon is trying to look away because he doesn't want to feel the wrath of Bria. Everybody's at the table is just like, really, go put on some clothes and come down and eat. But, you know, Shanice makes it be known after this that she is here on vacation. For her, coming up here on the weekend is a getaway. She said she's here to have fun. So, you know, fun to her means maybe not having a top on and being drunk. You know, do you? What you think?
About what, Shanice?
The whole thing, yeah. I mean,
I've said what I had to say. Honestly, I don't care about this. Let's get to one of the top parts in this episode. So after Shanice does her thing, whatever, we don't care, right? Mm-hmm. They start eating, and Shanice is sitting next to Jasmine at the end of the table. And Jasmine brings up to her the Alex situation. So guys, if you don't already know, Shanice has a past, and I don't want to call it even so much of a past because it was just the year prior with her ex-boyfriend. And Alex Googled it, and he had brought it up before. The house has brought it up. Well, Bria is the one that told Shanice that Alex knew about the situation, right? So Shanice is still feeling a little, it's off-putting to her. Like, she just feels a little bit uncomfortable, and she wants to be able to have the conversation with him. So Jasmine brings it up to her again and says, like, when are you going to have this conversation with Alex? Now, Shanice, she makes it very clear that she's very she tries to avoid conflict. Like, she doesn't like conflict. And so she's trying to figure out the best way to approach him about the situation. And she said, I'm going to do it on my own time. I'm clearly not going to do it right here, but we'll talk about it eventually, me and him, right? And Jasmine keeps pushing it. And so
she pushes everything.
Somehow, some way, everybody's having a conversation at the table, and Jasmine brings up the situation. She says, even like with Alex, Googling Shanice, like, you could have just asked. And I'm instantly annoyed. Because Shanice said, I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm going to talk about it with him at my own time. I'm not going to do it right now. But Jasmine kept pushing, and I felt like it was to be messy. I feel like there was malice behind that. That's how I personally feel. That's how I received it. Because if I already verbalized to you that I don't want to have this conversation right now, and you completely ignore me, and less than 2 seconds later, you then make an announcement at the table, I don't understand. And it pissed me off that nobody else called Jasmine out about that. I don't like that. So she brings it up, and Alex is like, wait a minute, like, what did I do? What are we talking about? Like, what did I do? Like, what's going on? And all of a sudden, it just turned into, let's just gang up on Alex. Listen, Jordan looks to Alex and she's going off. She was like, you could have asked her that shit to her face. You didn't need to go behind her back and talk about it. And it was the picture was definitely painted that Alex Googled Shanice, brought it to the house, and had kept talking about it the entire time that they were in the house, and kind of bad-mouthing Shanice. That's how it was received. I don't care about what anybody's intentions were at that table. That's how I received it, and I feel like that's how most viewers received it, unless y'all are editing things out. But it was packaged like he had been Googling her and bad-mouthing this girl and just continuing to talk about her behind her back the whole trip.
Right.
When that is simply not the case. That is not what had happened. That's not what's going on. It also was packaged, and Jordan's yelling at Alex, not only just because he didn't bring up the situation directly to Shanice, but she's also yelling at him saying, like, you're going to bring this shit up at a table full of people, like, instead of just asking her. And Alex can't get a word in. Jordan's like, can I finish? Like, you keep cutting me off. I felt like the situation was very unfair.
It was.
I feel like it was very unfair. Reality is, Alex said episodes ago that he found out, somebody sent him an article, and he found out about Shanice's past. Alex did not tell anybody. This is on camera. Alex did not tell anybody. He hadn't even brought it up to Shanice, but said in his confessional that he would bring it up to her or ask her about it eventually. So then we find out they start to do like a scene that didn't, air in any of the other episodes, where everybody was in the kitchen talking about the situation. And that's not how the group packaged it at this moment. It made it seem like Alex had just some ill intent and had just been talking about her. Alex gets upset, and he gets up from the table, and he was like, I'm leaving because this just doesn't feel like a safe space. And I'm not even the one that brought it up at the table. Right. Jasmine is the one that brought it up at the table. Not one moment did I mean for it to be brought up in front of the group like this. Right. That's not at all what I was trying to do. So he gets up for a second, and everybody's still talking about it. And it seems like Nick and Silas are the only ones that's kind of like trying to get the group to understand where Alex could be coming from.
Yeah.
And everybody else, I hear them. it's fair, right? I get it. But girl, for them to like make it seem like it's a bad thing for Alex to Google people, because I think it was Summer that was like, she doesn't feel like it was right. She heard that Alex Googled everybody before getting in the house and she didn't think it was right. And then the producer or somebody asked her, like, well, did you Google anybody? And she was like, no, but I found everybody's Instagram page.
And that's the same damn thing.
Right.
It's the same thing.
It's the same
Hypocrites.
thing. So I don't understand where they were coming from. I really don't.
Hypocrites.
That was a lot to me, and all of the energy was diverted to Alex, and nothing was said to Jasmine.
To Jasmine for once, and the thing is, folks, let's not forget, in one of the beginning episodes, they're sitting at dinner. Here goes Jasmine with these probing questions, trying to start shit.
Right. And we're gonna get to Jasmine in a second, cause I have cause this type of stuff is about to happen again, on like what I feel like the climax of the episode, cause this scene wasn't even it, but it was a lot to me. I felt like, you know, it could have been handled completely different, and it could have been handled different by the way it started, and it started with Jasmine. She didn't need to bring it up in front of everybody like that after Shanice said, "I don't want to talk about it right now."
Right.
And that's just period.
Right.
I have nothing else to say about Shanice. I'm done with Shanice. I'm tired of Shanice. I don't care about Shanice. She want to be naked all the time. I don't care. She says she want to have a good time. That's great for you, girl. She says she's a party girl. She's not going to be judged and all this other stuff. I don't care. I'm over the storyline.
And by the way, folks, because it's not even a big part, but spoiler alert, this is Shanice last night. She's not going to be here for the final night.
Right.
So, you know.
It's like, bye, girl. She came. She conquered. Go.
This episode was very segmented, meaning there's only so much that happened. Some of the stuff isn't worth talking about because it was just something slight that really played no mind in the house. But continue. Yeah,
so this will be like less of us doing a play-by-play like what we usually do, and I really want us to focus on 3 particular things that happen, because I want us to give our opinions about that.
Right.
So one of those things, the big thing that happened, once they finish their little brunch outside on the lawn, everybody goes inside, you know, dressed down, and everybody's kind of doing their own thing. Well, Preston, Jordan, Shanice, is it Shanice or
Shanice was there.
Shanice, and Alex are all in like the common area, the living room, and they're all talking, they're all joking and whatever. Alex makes I will say this off rip. He made a poor taste joke. He said, you know, I heard that y'all be sleeping together. Doesn't that go against your celibacy? And he's talking to Jordan. And when he said y'all, he was talking about Jordan and Preston. Well, you guys know Preston's gay. And so it was clearly a joke because of the situation. And he was just like kind of poking fun. Well, Jordan didn't receive it that way. Jordan tells Alex, so, you know, she was like, you know, Alex, you continuing to bring up my celibacy. Like, I don't bring up you sometime, your sometimey sobriety. Like, I don't bring that up all the time. Like, you was telling me you were taking drinks last summer or something like that.
And she brought up his veganism.
Right. And brought up that. And she was like, I don't bring that up, but I feel like you've always been bringing up or making fun of me being, celibate. And she, you know, she's like, I take it real serious or whatever. And then I was like, I mean, you know, I'm joking, right? And she was like, well, no, because like I feel like you are sexualizing me. And the conversation goes to a very what I feel authentic, definitely authentic, but different direction. Amir at this point, he's now coming into the room and he sits down and she's going off. Jordan is expressing that she feels like she's been over sexualized by the men in the house from the jokes that they've made. And they did do a flashback on some of the comments that Alex has made. And then she looks at Amir and she was like, and you too. Like, I don't know why you're looking at me like that. Like, you've done nothing but sexualize me. And she calls out what Alex had told her the day before or earlier that day. It was earlier that day, but last episode, about how Amir said when they first got in the house that he kind of had dibs on Jordan, right? And so she brings that up. Amir's completely caught off guard. He's confused. He's like, I don't understand what's going on. And then she's like, I don't know why you're confused. And she busts out in tears and says she's tired of being the brunt of everybody's jokes when it comes to her sexuality, and like her being labeled as a party girl, and with her doing Playboy, she's always been judged. And like, again, she says multiple times that she has been over sexualized by the men in the house. Do you want to go first?
I don't know. It's like I don't. So okay, let's talk about the first part. Alex shared with her about this so-called thing. I think the guys were playing pool and they were talking about who they're interested in, and it's one of those things where Amir was like he has interest in Jordan, and guys they have these little talks, and I guess Amir wanted to let it be known he go after Jordan, so he didn't want nobody else going after her. Which some of the other guys, if they're those types, they respect it, be like, hey, go do you, bro. And and when that time when Alex made his comment about Jordan being thick, I really felt Alex decided to try to kind of shoot his shot to see where he stood with Jordan because he feels like Amir is not getting anywhere. And he said it. He was just like, with Amir's pretty much calling dibs on you, I backed off for a good minute. And Jordan was like, oh yeah, well, that's not fair. Who like I didn't even get the chance to explore other options or kind of get to know y'all because y'all seemed backed off because Amir had interest in me. I mean, I'm not saying it's right. Like, she said she being sexualized. I mean, let's be real, folks. Playboy, you're not really wearing the most clothes. You're this modelly, sexually figure. I mean, no, like, just because you're in Playboy doesn't mean for you to be disrespected. It doesn't mean for you to be belittled or feel like that's all you represent. Because that's not all the person just because that's what they did there for a job. I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty blah about it. I'm pretty blah.
About the whole situation?
Yeah, kind of. Because it took a turn real fast.
Well, I have a question for you, but first, let me say this. Let me say this. I don't know why, but this really did hit me, right? I feel like I really struggled with this, you guys, because I'm such a girl's girl. I consider myself to be a womanist. I'm always for women's rights. I believe that women should have agency and make their own decisions about their bodies. I feel like they can be sexually liberated. I don't ever want to come off on this channel like I am not that way. Like, right? Like, I'm not a girl's girl, right? Jordan articulated her feelings very well, right? Articulated them very well. I'm not going to take away how she felt. I'm going to repeat that. I'm not taking away how she felt. That's fair. And to be completely 100, seeing the clips roll back of the comments that Alex has made, some of the jokes were jokes and it was clear, right? But then there were certain things I was just kind of like that. I didn't really like that comment, right? Like there was a point that they was in the bedroom, I guess, and she was grabbing something and he said something about putting something in a hole. Like, I don't know. He made a comment that I completely missed in another episode, apparently. And just, the comment that he made when they all went and played tennis last week about how you got to make sex noises or something when you're playing. Like, he's made a couple of jokes that I feel like was off-putting, right? Looking back at the clips. As much as I feel like I'm not going to take away Jordan's feelings, I will say Jordan, to me, it felt like a projection. It really did. It felt like you were projecting with the men that were around you in that moment. Let me take it back. From the very first time that we were introduced to Jordan on this show, she is the one that told us that she did Playboy. And she is the one that said that it's hard for her to date because everybody always, she doesn't know people's intentions because she does do Playboy. I'm not going to take that away from her. But if y'all remember when we did that review, I said it then and I'm going to say it now. I didn't know Playboy was still a thing. So unless she's getting into relationships with these people and she says this information, she tells them that she does Playboy, and then the relationship takes a turn, I'm not 100% sure on her experience. Like, because when we were introduced to her on the show, that's what she led with.
Yep.
I do Playboy. So I can only imagine the type of energy that she does get from pigs in her day-to-day when she divulges that information about her doing, whether it's nude shots or anything dealing in her Playboy days. However, and God, please protect me on this. However, I just feel like it doesn't seem like Jordan's very comfortable with her past. I know you want to be out here telling you liberated this and girl power that, but it doesn't seem like you're very comfortable with it. To me, because those tears that she was crying and what she was saying out of her mouth and how she's so tired of being judged and this, that, and the third, it seems to me that she's not comfortable with the decision that she made.
And that could be true, yeah.
That's my opinion. That's not me saying anything about whether it's right or wrong to do Playboy. That's not what none of this is about. It's right or wrong of you doing porn or nude shots, or you got an OnlyFans, or you a sex worker, or you doing that. That's not what none of this is about. What it's about is being secure in your decisions that you make, and recognizing that with that comes the judgment.
And it comes with a certain backlash.
Right, and it comes with backlash. That's what it is. That's just what it is. And to me, it just doesn't seem like she's secure in her decision. What I will say is, from a viewer standpoint, it didn't feel like any of the men on this show was judging her because she did Playboy. It didn't feel like that. I can't talk about her experience because I'm not in that house with her, and there's probably things that we have not seen. But from what I have seen so far on this season, Amir being one of them, right? I felt like, removing Alex from the situation for a second, with Amir, that was some bullshit to me.
Yeah, because my thing is
some bullshit to me.
I really do feel like Amir has not come at Jordan sideways at all.
Truly, y'all.
He's asked her to do certain activities, like come in the water with him for the little boat thing.
Right.
My thing is, I felt like Amir has come at her in a solid aspect. I haven't heard him in any of his confessionals talking about Jordan. He hasn't led with, "Oh, she's a Playboy mate, I gotta go after her." He's complimented her on her beauty.
Yeah.
But that's it. He's not leading with Playboy. He just feels she's a beautiful woman.
Right. And he did. He did make the statement when they first got into the house, like, I got this, right? That's how niggas be talking a lot of times. I assume when they're together. I truly don't think that he meant it in the way that it was received.
Right.
And it also wasn't supposed to really get back to her in the house.
Yeah, Alice was not supposed to say that.
Right, like in the house, it wasn't supposed to get back to her. Now, granted, it's on TV, so you'll find out eventually. I'm going to play devil's advocate here, guys. I'm really trying to tread lightly with this. I really am. With men, if a real man is in a room with a bunch of other men and they show interest in a woman that is very beautiful and everybody else in the room is attracted to her as well, and a man's like, hey, like I really like this girl, I got first dibs type of thing, I would think that as true homeboys, they're gonna be like, all right, like I'll back off then, like whatever, like I'm not even gonna try to pursue anything, and I'm not gonna even try to take it there because Amir showed interest.
I mean, that's how it's supposed to go,
right? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. I don't think that they was looking at you in like objectifying you in this way. I really don't think that that's how he meant
I mean, my
it.
thing is, it's not like they didn't interact with her in the house. they interacted with her, but they just didn't take it to that level because Amir expressed that he really had interest.
Right. And even because she kept saying...
And there's nothing wrong with that.
She kept saying when she was crying in between, her yelling and being upset, she kept saying how, like, nobody's... like, the men in this house ain't even trying to get to know me on another level. And I guess other than the Playboy stuff. And Nick, in his confessional, was like, I mean, I've had multiple conversations with Jordan. I have tried to get to know her. I don't understand where it's coming from. I have said this before with watching the show. One of the things that I've enjoyed about this show is just the balance. Like, I love seeing that there are men and women in a house together and that the men are not complete misogynistic assholes and we just got to deal with it for a whole season like most shows. Like, there seems to be a balance in the house when it comes to men and how they interact and communicate with women. And I have appreciated it about the show. In this moment, it even threw me off because I felt like that's what had been happening this whole time. But Jordan is saying that hasn't been her experience.
Well, treading lightly too, I just feel like Jordan's tears are real tears of, regret. But I just don't feel like the guys have done her like that in this house. And let's call it a thing. Silas is paying her no mind because he don't even like her. Preston's friendly with everybody. But, Preston, Silas is his line brother. I don't know what other people do you see him interacting with the most.
And then I want to also add that you are crying and talking about how bad the men have been in the house. But I have to say, the only person in this house that I feel like has objectified you and over-sexualized you and didn't want to get to know what your interests are currently is your homegirl Jasmine. Now, Jasmine, this entire season has not had any interest on what you really got going on. It's been trying to get you to get a man.
Right.
So I don't understand if you're gonna have this speech, you need to be for the whole house.
Right. It was really just unfair for the guys. Like, yeah, Alex made some stupid jokes, the thick.
And it was inappropriate.
He made some inappropriate stuff, but that's one guy at the house. Like, the other guys, I did not feel came at her to that. Even Jason coming in like Preston, Jason, Silas.
Well, she specifically, I think, even though she kept saying guys, she specifically was talking about Amir and Alex.
But but like you say, words mean something.
No, it does. But the Amir thing really, really pissed me off because I do not believe, from what we have seen on the show, he was coming at you that way. And you guys have been off doing your own thing. He's been trying to get to know you, do different activities with you. At this point, you've been in the house for, 16 days at this point? 15 or 16 days.
I think 15 is the most.
Okay, then fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
They've been in the house for more than a week.
Yeah.
And he has not one time tried to touch you inappropriately. He hasn't tried to really make a move. I don't even believe he has tried to really kiss her. So, and I'm not saying that he should have, right? Like, I'm saying he did all of that right. But what I'm saying is that energy and trying to vilify him in that way because he shows interest, I felt like that was very dangerous, and especially dangerous to do on TV,
right? Because
this was an impossible situation to kind of get out of.
Right. And
kudos to both of those young men, Alex and Amir, because the way they handled this impossible situation on TV in this day and time, when a woman is telling you you are over sexualizing them and they feel uncomfortable, I feel like they handled it so well.
Well, I mean, because, both of them seem like they do have like a chill character about themselves where they just don't seem like them type of guy.
It's not just about being chill. It's about being completely conscious and aware and respectful of women. Alex sat there and he listened to her, went over to her and he was like, I hear you, Jordan. Gave her a hug and he apologizes, right? And I really felt like that was genuine. Amir did get up from the conversation and he was crying. He was upset. And I imagine he was very confused. And he called one of his homeboys from back home and was explaining to him the situation. And you could tell that Amir was really hurt and embarrassed because he did say how I just got chewed out in front of the entire house by a girl that I actually like. and I have no idea what I did wrong. Like
Right.
I wasn't trying to make her feel uncomfortable. That's not where I was coming from. That wasn't my intention. You can tell that he was very hurt by it. But long story short, when they all get back into the house, the conversation's done. Silas and Amir and Jordan are in the kitchen, and Silas is trying to force him to talk because he's like, at some point, you guys are gonna have to have a conversation. And Silas was like, well, to Jordan, if I just can play devil's advocate here, like, how would a guy that likes you, what can they do to show interest? And Amir chimes in and was like, yeah, like, and I also, want you to know that I hear you. The guy that likes you also hears you. And he tells Jordan, like, I heard what you said. And then Jordan gets upset again because she was like, you shouldn't have walked away.
Nobody's just gonna stand there. To be honest with you, like nobody's just gonna stand there, get chewed out, and first of all, you don't know what you did. You feel very confident that she didn't do something wrong,
Right.
And it's like, what is he supposed to? You don't have a playbook for how you're supposed to handle situations like that,
right?
But
this was a really unfortunate situation to me. But I feel like everybody handled it right. With Jordan though, y'all know, off of this topic, I'm not the biggest Jordan fan. I don't really like Jordan. Out of all of the girls in the house, and this is so sad, but out of all of the girls, she was the only one that I kind of liked. But this situation to me was, it was a lot. And so, Jordan, I do think that you were projecting. I am interested to see how you guys felt. I really hope that I know you guys don't know my heart, but I really struggled with this because I don't want to come off a particular way on YouTube. I am a firm believer that women should be heard and that our experiences are real. And we constantly are in situations where we are over sexualized, that we are not in safe spaces, specifically with men. So I understand because I've experienced it. I've continued to experience it. Even with being in a relationship, men, people can be very inappropriate. But in this particular situation, I will say it felt like Jordan had a little bit of a chip on her shoulder because I think there's a little bit of regret about her past.
So the next day, there's a scene where Silas and Jasmine are in the bedroom, and it seems like Jasmine's, getting her stuff ready and getting Silas's stuff ready as well. Silas supposedly got these new pants, and Jasmine was ironing them. And Silas got very pissed off because he's like, why are you ironing my pants like they're new? Like they shouldn't be ironed. And I'm guessing while ironing it, somehow Jasmine got a stain on his pants. In which, he was being Silas, being very dramatic. But later down the episode, this will come back when they get in a later argument. What I'm catching though from just this scene, Silas does not know how to talk to people. And the thing is, I understand he likes to bring up that military stuff, that discipline, whatever, but it's just one of those things where Silas is really like, he's just a drama queen. He talks to people like, he's their captain and they're his platoon. Like, this is your wife. Some of these people are your friends. Like, y'all seen in the past how he came at Preston. I remember they're doing some type of exercise or something like that. And how he's coming at Preston, like Silas does not know how to talk to people.
Well, on top of that, I think the bigger point here is that he also subscribes to gender roles. Not gender norms, but gender roles. And it's very old school, very, I'm going to just chop it up to be his culture.
Yep.
And, but we all make decisions in life. So the fact that you want to subscribe to that in 2023 is beyond me. I just thank God that I've never had to. Now, I've been with some assholes. I've had some horrible relationships, but this type of shit has never been a thing. I have never had to deal with a woman is supposed to be ironing and cooking and you got to make my meals every day and you got to do this. That ain't even a thing. So she could miss me with the whole messing up on the ironing. I don't iron clothes for niggas. I don't do that.
You said the cooking?
The cooking and all that.
Oh, that's because they were broke.
What does that have to do with anything?
You can't
What
do
does that have
stuff
to
when
do
they
with
ain't have
anything?
it. But you made the right
Anyways.
decisions in life now.
That had nothing to do with anything. So real quick, guys, this day, one other scene that I wanted to bring up was Preston. Preston is talking to his boyfriend that he's been with for 2 years. And he's just talking a lot about his relationship and the experience, what it's been like being the only gay man in the house. Real quick, I will say I was really happy to see that his partner was Black. Let me say why. Because with gay Black men that are on TV, I don't see a lot of them being with other Black men. It seems like they always have white partners, and that's like no shade to them. It's just like, representation matters. And we don't see that a lot. So it was even good to see that. And he's adorable, meaning the boyfriend. I forgot the boyfriend's name, but this all comes up, or is the inspiration for them doing a Pride night that night, to celebrate and acknowledge Preston. And so he makes a soul food dinner for that night. I will say I don't really be trusting young people cooking soul food. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I really need somebody auntie or grandma to make the food. I don't know if we're there yet as a generation yet, like millennials and Gen Z. Are we there yet? Can we make the soul food? I make a mean macaroni and cheese. Like I make a mean baked macaroni and cheese. Tell me I'm lying.
I don't see it as much. I only see it during the holidays.
But that's not what my question is.
It's been a while. I can't.
You're being such an idiot right now.
It's been a while.
Like, you're being such an idiot. My mac and cheese is good, okay? But anyways, I don't know if we're at the point where we can make the whole meal. Y'all let me know. Ended up doing their Pride night later that night, and it was really cute. Everybody's just being positive and having fun. The guys do a little dance routine, and that was, a little funny scene. But I was just really happy to see Preston be able to get this opportunity and show who he is. Especially with a house full of straight men, right? Full of straight Black men. And y'all know what I mean. Like, this can go either way. And I'm glad that it went the way of positivity. I love to see it. And like I said, representation really does matter. So I really love this moment. So the last thing that we want to talk about is Silas and Jasmine. This forever saga, right? I want to go back to the night that Jordan had her moment with the house, and she was crying and she was upset, and all of the house was pretty much ended up in the room trying to figure out what was going on in the situation and consoling Jordan, of course, because she was crying. Later that night, we get a scene with Silas and Jasmine in their room, and Jasmine says to Silas, she says she was jealous because Jordan was able to bring the house together. And I guess because it's Jasmine's trip, she's been trying to have that moment. So she had her jealous moment. She felt away. That was so off-putting to me. It's official. I don't know if I made it official a couple episodes ago, but I'm really going to make it official now. I don't like Jasmine.
I think it's interesting. You said, I took it as when she said that, she said Jasmine the whole time's been trying to bring the house together.
Yeah.
I was looking at it as when she had her little breakdown moment at that dinner table. I was thinking of that, like how she saw the house physically just
That's
their
what
arms.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
No, we agree. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Jasmine is most definitely referring to when she had her moment at that table and she was crying. She was hoping and wanting the house to react the same way they reacted, I guess, with Jordan crying, right? My thing is this. I will say one thing, girl, at least you keeping it real. You saying that this is how you feel. Fine. But my thing is, you flawed for feeling that way. That's some weird shit. The hell? I've never heard of that shit. I don't even understand that. You felt jealous of her.
Because it's attention seeking. She wanted that attention.
And maybe because I'm not built that way. Because I was very confused by her saying she was jealous because Jordan brought the house together. Jordan was having an authentic moment. that really was between her and the people that were in the room to begin with. Everybody else in the house wasn't even in there. They came into the room to see what was going on, yes, but that's not even what it was. I don't think Jordan was doing that to seek attention. That's not it. As much as I disagree with where the issue stems from, I don't think she was seeking attention in that moment. I don't. But Jasmine, you do. A lot of the things that you do, I feel like you're seeking attention.
Or reactions.
And it also just shows to me that you're not much of a good friend. Well, and I said that with the whole Mariah situation. I've been called Jasmine a horrible friend.
Not just that, she showed it with Jordan. She don't respect Jordan. She don't respect her way of life.
Yeah, every episode, Jasmine is showing it more and more and more and more and more.
So let's get to the very last relevant thing in this episode. Right. So this is when the pants come back into play. So Silas and Jasmine in their bedroom, and they get to arguing again about these pants. And Silas came at her a little crooked. And Jasmine makes the comment of, your mentality is a turnoff for me. And Silas goes straight to going back to the pants saying, oh, well, it's not my fault you know how to effing iron pants. And, Silas is showing more and more every episode how he talks to her. And she makes a comment after saying that, if we don't get this fixed, we're not going to have a home to go back home to after we leave here. Like I said, it's back to that old mentality Silas has. Like I said, it could be a cultural thing. But it's like, some pants, though?
Well, the last day, which was really like the last scene, Shanice leaves and they got into an argument about these stupid pants the night before. So the night of the pride party. So Jasmine's in the kitchen venting to Jason and telling her they're arguing right now or whatever. While she's talking to Jason, she's also fixing Silas some food. She has to make King Silas's food, So she's doing that. She gets that together, goes upstairs, gives it to him, puts it right next to his laptop as he's working. And I think he took like one bite and then stopped. And she's like, so I guess you're finished with this. Like, you're done. And he was like, yeah, pretty much. And she was like, okay, well, like, that was a waste. And he's like, well, I don't do starch. I don't do potatoes and bread. I don't do that. The way he was talking to her was like talking down to her like she was like some type of chef or maid.
The help.
The help, pretty much. Again, girl, what works for you works for you. I've said this in multiple reviews, and this is kind of where my opinion stops. You people that continue to get into relationships and y'all don't ask questions, it's really beyond me. I don't understand it. These are the type of conversations that we are having when we're dating. What are your ideas or your expectations of marriage? What are your thoughts on gender roles? All of these questions. How do you envision us raising kids? Like, would you, if a person's another religion, do you want us to practice this religion? Like, all of these important topics. What's your political affiliation? What do you believe in? What are you passionate about? Who your peoples? What's your culture? All of these conversations are things that we should have been talking about on all of them damn dates, on the phone, through text, all of that. So I can't relate. I have no idea what to say to her. I'm very confused because I guess I really did assume up until, I would say, in the last few months, I've recognized it more and more with other shows and even people in my personal life, that y'all really do be getting in relationships with people that y'all have no idea who these people are. Like, y'all really do that. And not just getting in a relationship. I'm talking about y'all be having whole children. Be having whole weddings. Signing marriage certificates with people you don't know. That is some weird shit to me. I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't understand this. Y'all can help me out, but I don't know what y'all talk about with your partners. What do y'all talk about?
So with that, I will allude to one thing I like to see in the comment section. I want y'all to let us know, what questions do you feel are important to ask people on the very first date? Or when you get to know people, what are some of the most important questions you feel should be asked? Because I'm definitely interested to hear from other people as well.
I am too. And these are two topics, right? Because I was also going to say, I really do want to hear y'all's opinion on the Jordan situation. Do you feel like she was being too sensitive? Do you feel like she was right in how she felt? Do you feel like Amari, I keep calling him Amari. Do y'all feel like Amir and Alex were wrong and inappropriate, or they could have handled certain things different? I want to hear your thoughts. I gave mine, and I'm still kind of struggling with it. I'm a woman. I can change my mind tomorrow because I'm entitled to do that. But
well, I thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Reality Check TV. I hope you enjoyed it. As y'all know, please continue to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers about our channel. We have a lot in store for you guys. We definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in to this episode. Mm-hmm. Y'all be sure to watch next week's season finale.
Yes.
We're definitely ready for that one. Well, we definitely appreciate y'all. We enjoy y'all. Like I said, don't forget to hit the comments because we will definitely respond. But as always, y'all be safe in the streets and the sidewalk, and drink your water.
Bye.